Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will be talking about logical division and its differences. This is a chapter from Elementary Logic for first year BA LLB students from Mumbai University. Let us understand what is logical division. Logical division is the process of dividing a concept or a set into parts based on essential and mutually exclusive characteristics that collectively encompass the whole. Each division or subclass represents a clear and distinct part of the concept. Let us look at the differences of the division. Enumeration of individuals. This involves listing individual members or elements within a category. Unlike logical division, enumeration does not divide a concept into mutually exclusive or exhaustive parts but simply identifies members of a set. Now, this can be explained by an example where we have a group of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in a division, we would generally divide this either based on odd or even numbers, two separate groups. But in enumeration, division by enumeration, we will just list them by the order or the series. So this involves, we'll read this again. This involves listing individual members or elements within a category. Unlike logical division, enumeration does not divide a concept into mutually exclusive or exhaustive parts but simply identifies members of a set. So we are just simply identifying the members of the set. Physical division. This is another type of division. Physical division involves dividing an object or substance into parts based on physical characteristics, such as cutting a physical object into pieces. Logical division, on the other hand, is more abstract and does not rely on physical characteristics. So, the main keyword for the physical division here, as compared to logical division, is that logical division is more abstract, whereas physical division, we are physically dividing an object, a substance, into different parts based on their physical characteristics. In the enumeration of individuals, we are only listing individual members or elements within a category. Metaphysical division. In metaphysical division, we divide a concept into parts. Everywhere we are dividing into parts, the whole is divided into parts. So in metaphysical division, we are dividing a concept into parts based on its essence or fundamental nature. It may involve more philosophical or abstract categories. Logical division, by contrast, focuses on dividing concepts based on the characteristics that are essential for classification. Now, metaphysical division is very much similar to the logical division, but here the difference, because both talk about abstract categories, but the logical division focuses more on dividing the concepts. They may be abstract concepts, but they are based on the characteristics that are essential for classification. Whereas metaphysical division divides a concept into parts based on its essence or fundamental nature. This will be more clear by way of examples. Verbal division. Verbal division involves dividing a concept or term based on different meanings or interpretations of the word. Logical division, however, is concerned with identifying categories that exhaustively represent the concept's real nature, not just linguistic distinction. So, verbal division basically divides a concept or a term based on different meanings or interpretations of the word. And what was logical division? It is a process of dividing a concept or a set into parts based on essential and mutually exclusive characteristics that collectively encompass the whole. So we saw four different types of divisions vis-a-vis logical division, and they are enumeration of individuals, physical division, metaphysical division, and verbal division. Let us look at definition and division, traditional versus modern view. Traditional view of definition. In traditional logic, definition aims to capture the essence of a term by providing its genus and differentia, that is, broad category and distinguishing characteristics. Division, on the other hand, breaks down a concept into its parts, which are also considered essential to its nature. Modern view of definition. In modern logic, it often emphasizes operational or pragmatic definitions based on context or usage. Division still plays a role in breaking down concepts, but it's often used more flexibly to accommodate varied uses and broader categories. The relationship between definition and division in modern views often leans more towards context, usage, and empirical distinctions. So let's recap this. In traditional view of definition, definition aims to capture the essence of a term by providing its genus and differentia, whereas division breaks down a concept into its parts. As far as modern view of definition is concerned, it leans more towards operational or pragmatic definitions based on context or usage. Relation between definition and division. Since both Definition, which tries to define a term, and division aim to organize knowledge. They are related in that they both serve to clarify the structure of a concept. Definitions clarify what a concept is, while division breaks down the concept into parts to provide greater understanding. So, this is important. Definitions clarify what a concept is or what a term is, while divisions break down the concept into parts to provide greater understanding. Let's look at denotation and connotation and how they are connected to division and definition. Denotation. It refers to the literal meaning or the direct reference of a term, typically its real world counterpart. Connotation involves the associated meaning. So we have literal meaning for denotation and associated meaning for connotation. There is emotional responses or broader implications of a term can also define connotation. Because every term has both denotative and connotative elements, division and definition work in tandem to capture both the literal and the implied aspects of a concept. Division clarifies these distinctions by breaking down a term into its meaningful components, thus enhancing both its denotative and connotative understanding. Correct. Division by dichotomy. Division by dichotomy. In this method, division by dichotomy divides a whole into exactly two parts, ensuring that these two parts are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Dichotomy is valuable because it forces clarity and precision in analysis. It helps to eliminate ambiguity by dividing a concept into two clear and opposite categories. Let us look at the rules of logical division. First, the parts, that is the subclasses or subcategories, must be mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive means no overlapping of classes. For example, this would be an odd class, numbers of odd class, and this would be a class of even numbers. There should be no overlapping of odd or even numbers between the classes. The parts must be exhaustive, that is, cover the whole concept. So even class should contain all the even numbers, and odd class should contain all odd numbers. Each part must represent a distinct aspect of the concept. So this is distinct, odd and even numbers. So let's just recap. The parts or the subclass must be mutually exclusive, no overlapping. The parts must be exhaustive, that is, cover the whole concept, and each part must represent a distinct aspect of the concept. Examples of violating rules: overlapping, dividing students into young students and students with a good academic record violates the rule of mutual exclusivity, as a student can belong to both categories. Too narrow. Dividing cars into sedans and sports cars may exclude other types of cars like SUVs, which violates the rule of exhaustiveness. So the cars should cover all types of cars. Too wide. Dividing animals into land animals and water animals may be too broad, excluding other categories like air animals or amphibians. So we have three types of violations of the logical division. One is overlapping, which means that it is not exclusive, mutually exclusive. That is, no overlapping. When it is too narrow, it basically violates the rule of exhaustiveness. That is, it does not include all the members of a class that it should include. And when it is too wide, it violates the rule of distinct aspect of the concept. Definitions of terms. Let us understand what is division. Division is an act of breaking a concept or set into distinct and non-overlapping parts that together cover the whole. That is mutually exclusive and exhaustive. What is foundation of division? The principle or characteristic upon which the division is based, such as specific attribute or criteria for classification. Metaphysical division. What is metaphysical division? It is a division based on fundamental nature or essence of a concept, often used in philosophy. Verbal division. Division based on different meanings or interpretations of a word, often leading to ambiguity or misunderstanding. Physical division. Division based on the physical or material components of a thing, such as cutting an object into pieces. Division by dichotomy. A type of division that splits a whole into exactly two parts, ensuring that the parts are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Okay, these are few of the statements where we have to select the correct options. In a logical division, if the subclasses are exclusive, the division cannot be overlapping. That's correct. Mutually exclusive means non-overlapping. Division consists in stating the different Division consists in stating the different verbal meanings. The fallacies of too narrow and too wide divisions are sometimes found together. A dichotomous division may be logically valid division. If a division commits the fallacy of cross division, it must commit the fallacy of overlapping division. The logical division can proceed to the individual. Let us look at the examination of divisions. Pickpockets into those who pick the pockets of gents and those who perform the same office for the ladies. This violates logical division as it is based on arbitrary distinctions and overlaps. Pickpockets into those who pick the pockets of gents and those who perform the same office for the ladies. So, this violates the logical division as it is based on arbitrary distinctions and overlaps. Criminals into, that is, we have to divide criminals into murderers, thieves, dacoits, robbers, confidence tricksters, black marketers, smugglers, etc. This division is too broad and violates the rule of exhaustiveness. Cities into well planned and badly planned. This division is too narrow, excluding cities that may neither be well planned nor badly planned. Umbrellas into rod, handle, spokes, and cloth. This is a physical division, but it may not represent a logical division as it breaks down a physical object rather than a concept. Bees into busy workers and four winged social insect. This is an overlapping division and does not meet the mutual exclusivity rule. Music into vocal and instrumental. This is a valid logical division as it covers all music types with no overlap. Race horses into insured, non-insured, pedigreed, and non-pedigreed. This division is based on extraneous factors and lacks logical clarity. Educated man into well educated, ill educated, and uneducated. This division is too narrow and it may create categories that are not logically exhaustive. Boxers into heavyweight and lightweight boxers. This is a valid logical division as it uses an appropriate, mutually exclusive criteria of weight class. This completes the topic of division. Let's move on to the part 2. We have some more examples. Dentists, that is, divide dentists into male, female, costly, cheap, efficient, and inefficient. The violation here is that this division mixes irrelevant criteria, gender, cost, and efficiency. Logical divisions should focus on relevant and distinct characteristics, but this is a cross division as gender, cost, and efficiency overlap in different ways. Hindus into those who are religious minded and those who are not. Violation. This is a poor division because it's based on subjective criteria, religious mindedness, and that could have overlapping categories. There may be Hindus who are religious minded in some ways but not others. So the categories are not mutually exclusive or exhaustive. Propositions into universal, particular, affirmative, and negative. This is a valid logical division because the categories are distinct and exhaustive with no overlap. These categories correspond to different logical forms of propositions and each is mutually exclusive. Horses into race horses, hunters, mules, and ponies. This division is not logically valid as it divides horses based on different types of horses and animal categories. Mules are not a type of horse, they are hybrids between horses and donkeys. So the division lacks consistency and may be too broad. Legendary fighters, legendary figures into King Solomon, Birbal, Mullah Nasruddin, etc. The violation here is that this is an enumeration of specific individuals, not a division based on essential characteristics. Logical division should categorize based on shared traits, not individual names or legends. This lacks the required mutual exclusivity and exhaustiveness. Flowers into fragrant and non-fragrant, white and non-white. Violation is of cross division. The two criteria, fragrance and color, overlap because a flower could be both fragrant and white or non-fragrant and white, making the division not mutually exclusive. Christians into those who go to church on Sundays and those who do so on other days. This division is narrow and based on irrelevant distinctions, days of church attendance. It overlooks other types of Christians, such as those who don't attend church regularly. This division is too narrow and fails to be exhaustive. Industrialist into miserly and spendthrift, and spendthrift industrialist into those who prefer to spend money on themselves and those who spend on others. This is a poor division because it is based on personal financial habits that do not logically categorize industrialists into a mutually exclusive or exhaustive way. It is also overlapping, as some industrialists may have both traits, and the subcategories are not logically distinct. Cobras into poisonous and crawling creatures. Here, the violation is of the division on irrelevant criteria. While cobras are indeed poisonous, the second category, crawling creatures, is too broad and encompasses many other types of animals besides cobras. This is an overlapping division where cobras would fall into both categories. Magicians into those who practice black magic and those who hypnotize the audience. This division mixes different kind of magical practices and does not offer a mutually exclusive or exhaustive division of magicians. Some magicians may engage in both practices, so the categories overlap. Calamities into natural and man-made. This is a valid division. This is a valid logical division. The categories are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive, as all calamities can be classified as either natural or man-made. So this completes the series on divisions with how to detect what kind of violations would occur in a particular type of a statement, along with how to detect what kind of division would be most appropriate for a particular statement. With this, I thank you for listening to this entire length of the video. If you found value in this video, then do consider subscribing and sharing the link with your friends. Take care. Bye bye.